New crafting recipes available at the Black Hammer. Okay, okay. Anything else? No? Okay. So, actually we're gonna do something differently. I'm gonna go around and... Should I collect all the orchestrion rolls? The ones I can buy? How much money do I have? 369k. Yeah, actually I'm gonna do this quickly. I'm just gonna go around and buy as many orchestrion rolls as I can, and then we're gonna listen to some music, take a look at the rest, what is new, before we actually talk to Charon. Yeah.
Here you are.
This is also called redistributing the wealth.
My thanks.
Right, and if I still have some money left at the end, I might buy these as well, but to be honest, I won't use them at all, so that's why I don't buy the accessories. Yeah, I'm getting broke here.
You've a keen eye.
And now I need to be careful that I don't spend
customer
too
who knows
much,
what
because
he
I still need some to buy some potions later on.
And
Wow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 still. I'm gonna buy one more. Then I have 10k.
an excellent choice.
Yeah, let's keep it at 10k for now. Yeah, I think that's okay. Alrighty then. And then we have to buy... we need 10... 26k still. And then I would have all the orchestrion rolls. Okay, I think I wanna try to get all the money first before we listen to all the music. We're gonna do this right at the end. When I finish... probably when I finished Rising Tide, the DLC. Yeah, quite certain. Alright, so I just need to remember to come back to Northreach. I'm gonna get some free potions over here in Iceland quickly. And then we're gonna go back home to Charon. Right, before we talk to anyone... Yeah, we're gonna go to the Black Hammer to see what we can do. And then the Reedstone to decide how our weapon will look like. But I'm quite certain I'm gonna keep it as the Buster Sword. And then we're gonna talk to Vivian and Charon. Actually, no, there's nothing new at Harpocrates. Okay, okay. Yeah, it's called Omega Weapon. Ooh, even better still. A blasphemous coupling of living flesh and synthetic bone. This relic of an age long forgotten shudders with that self-same vital spirit that animated the Sage Spire's mightiest of sentinels. And when he looked upon mankind's creation, he saw himself. Unknown. Okay then.
No scratches, right?
My reward is with me. Ah yeah, okay. Item equipped. Beautiful. Right, I think that was actually it. There's nothing else. Wait, we had something before. Fallen Belt. Ooh, nice. Living Tissue. Okay. We can't upgrade the Omega Sword. No. Fallen Belt 2. Okay, okay. And Fallen Bracelets. Living Tissue as well. Right, then let's upgrade both of them.
Yeah, that should do you.
Fallen Belt 2. Aqueous Humors. Okay.
My best work, but
That one
it'll do.
is done. And Fallen Bracelets as
You
well.
can thank me later.
Twice.
My best work,
And
but
we're
it'll
even more safe now because we have more defense and more HP. Very good.
Fine.
Right, let's take a look at the weapons. So then, here are the new ones. So, for now it looks like the Buster Sword, we know this, we have seen this, and that's the one that we got in the Sage Spire, Fallen Enforcer, and we have read that before, so yeah, this looks actually quite nice. And this is the new one, Omega Weapon. And just because we finished Omega, yeah, switch it. Switch it. I want the weapon to look like this. This looks also cool, but a little bit less cool, just because there's so much color in this one. Sad to see the Buster Sword go, but yeah, we're gonna go with this one for the Rising Tide. To be honest, I have never defeated Omega Weapon in Final Fantasy VIII. I think I played Final Fantasy VIII a bunch of times. I can't even remember how many times. And like I said, the first time I leveled my characters to the maximum. I played over 100 hours for that. And then I realized in the end that I can't win against Omega Weapon, and I couldn't even win against Ultimecia because, yeah, they had too much HP and I was just too weak because I didn't understand how the system works with the GF and stuff, because I was still quite young in 1998. I was 13, yeah. But on my second playthrough, when I actually had a magazine, like with the complete walkthrough and stuff, and this is when I realized, oh, depending on your level, the enemies level will be the same or equivalent in a way, and then they are stronger, have better movesets and stuff, and are equipped with even more HP and stuff. So yeah, so on my second playthrough I finished it, and then I tried to play it a couple of times after this because I've seen some videos on YouTube, but because I've played it too often, I've just stopped in between. Yeah, and this is why I want to take this one, because, yeah, I still couldn't defeat Omega Weapon no matter what. Enough about that. So, yeah, Orchestrion, like I said, I'm going to do this at the very end. Now let's go to Vivian. Alright, then we're going to start with the situation map. Our Forebear's Folly. The Sage Spire's walls are lined with dusk crystals and its halls filled with the fruit of the fallen's gods' forsaken experiments, ancient beasts transformed into living weapons and the heart of a man-made mother crystal. With the destruction of the latter, the dusk crystals fade and the tower falls silent at long last. And following Clive, the destruction of the man-made heart. Clive discovers the source of the dust crystals within the Sage Spire, though a myriad of fallen abominations, last and most abominable of which being the iconoclast Omega, stand between him and the artificial heart. He and his allies succeed in cutting it down and putting an end to its ether-leeching activities. And the grand cast, the text is the same, but I wanted to take a look what the persons actually have to say, the inner voices. Couldn't have done it without you, boy. Ah, wait. This is Clive talking to Torgal. I thought this is what Torgal is thinking. I'm sure Famiel and his friends will be fine. They always are. How do you know? You've never known these people before. But okay. What is this? The tower. I don't think it likes us. Try to keep your chief out of trouble. Ah, this is what he's thinking. Okay, so if I go on him, we share the Fallen's ambitions, but not their ambition. We are not our ancestors, remember that. Thank you, boy. Let us fight together to the end. Oh, this is what he thinks. Okay, now I understand how this works. This is what he thinks now because I have clicked on him. Were all fallen constructs conscious? It is plain he cares for his people very much. I wish him well. May he go safely. Okay, okay. So what is Torgal thinking? The little cub is all grown up. He's very strong and brave. Let's go hunting together again. What does it... Oh, he thinks, I hope I don't have to hunt another of those animals. Okay. I can hear him, but I can't smell him. He and my master friends now. He's silly but nice. He's silly but nice. Okay, okay. Jill. All's well that ends well. Couldn't have done it without you. Do you make any sense of what happened in the tower? Perhaps one day you will decipher all the fallen secrets. I don't think it's friendly. He was just trying to survive like all of us. True, yeah. Bravery takes many forms. I'm sure he will choose the right path or have it chosen for him. Unauthorized entry detected. Evaluating. Threat index green, green, green. Threat index orange, 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 and red. Yeah, I thought so. Awesome, this is cool. Right, let's go for him. Time to go home and face the music then. You are good at explaining, right? All for one, eh? Since when could you talk? Have it your way, it's not like I have a choice. Maybe meet again. I don't make you for a liar. Ah, of course he wants to meet her again. Sure, sure. Always the girl. Alec. All is well that ends well, I suppose. You got any spare bridges? Don't worry, I'll tell everyone it weren't your fault. Who's there? Bit of a smart lad, but the sound of him. Glad we could all get along in the end. Thanks for everything. And at the end, Marnik. I don't know how, but we survived. I thought we were for it. We will back you, Chief. I think we've made it angry. I would be persuaded if I knew what the bloody hell he was talking about. I had her all wrong. He saved our lives. Okay. This is actually quite nice. I like that. Very good. Yeah, very good. Alright then. So let's talk to Charon. And then we're gonna bring this to a close. I think we're gonna talk to her and then probably we're gonna go to Harpocrates right away. And then we should be through with the first DLC.
Back, are ya?
Mm-hmm.
So? Did you find out where the dust crystals were coming from or what?
It's, a long story. And perhaps one better told in the shelves.
Yeah, exactly. Like I thought. Very nice.
Bloody hell. Remind me never to go poking round in any fallen ruins.
Not only a mother crystal of human creation, but an icon as well. Truly, the study of our fallen forebears is endlessly rewarding. The wonders of which they were capable never ceased to amaze.
They came as something of a surprise to us, too.
You can say that again. We had no idea what we were getting ourselves into when we set foot in that tower.
Yeah, true.
We only knew the old stories. Of a people so consumed by greed that they sought to overthrow the gods. And I'd hazard the thing we found in that tower was conceived for that very purpose.
Omega, the offspring of the Fallen's boundless knowledge and unchecked ambition. A dangerous combination for all concerned.
And Ultima crushed them. It was he whose secrets the Fallen coveted, let's not forget. He whom they strove to dethrone. Just as we strive to dethrone him now. Without their knowledge. And without their weapons of war.
Clive.
This power I've been given may exceed even theirs, but if I use it, as they did, who's to say things won't end the same way?
Come now, brother. I think the events of recent days have made it abundantly clear that we are not our ancestors. As well you know.
You're right. They made crystals. We destroy them.
In crafting their artificial art, the Fallen sought to emulate the divine. But that is not the path we have chosen.
No. We don't want to be gods. We just want to be free.
Yeah.
Well said. If one does not learn from the mistakes of the past, one is doomed to repeat them. And so, I mean to write down everything you've told me to the very last detail, that those who come after might learn from our travails, and perhaps, just perhaps, forge a brighter future for our descendants.
Nice, nice. Quest complete. Beautiful. That was Echoes of the Fallen. Dusk Shard. This is new. As if unable or unwilling to accept the loss of their mother, with the destruction of the Sage Spire's heart, did all nearby dusk crystals shatter and fade. Oddly, those far removed from the tower, however, do not appear to have suffered the same fate, including a particularly suspect sample Guts was gulled into buying on a recent journey to Port Isolde. They are not even what you'd call decent, Thamiel. Displayed in Clive's chambers. Ah, we're gonna take a look at that in just a bit. Cool. Repercussion. New items are now available at Charon's Toll. Cool. A new missive has been delivered to Clive's chambers. Anything else? No. Alright, before we do this, actually I just wanna see if we have some more lore. Because sometimes it doesn't show up on the minimap, so I'm just gonna check quickly, but I think there won't be anything because
Good
we
morrow
reached...
to you, my friend.
Oh! We can at least ask about the Sage Spire. Let's do that. One can only assume that the Mother Crystal's ability to channel ether was as valued by the fallen civilization as it has long been by ours. Much more, no doubt, due to the vast quantities of ether that their ingenious inventions must have required.
In short,
The blessing of the crystals that to modern man has seemed a nigh limitless bounty must to them have appeared a resource most limited indeed. Little wonder that they should seek to divine the very source of the blessing, that they might claim it for their own. You witnessed the bitter fruit of that ambition within that tower. And not only that, their ambition to overthrow the gods too, the iconoclast Omega, the destroyer of the divine. Ironic that the icons, mighty works of Ultima, if his words are to be believed, should take their name from a mighty work of mankind that was designed to destroy him, or perhaps entirely fitting. Okay. There is more! Okay, so we're gonna read a little bit about the lore, about, the echoes. Reading the echoes. Entries for Echoes of the Fallen are now available for viewing in the 1,000 tomes. Speak with Harpocrates in the Hideaway to learn more. Harpocrates will not gain wisdom by listening to Clive's accounts of this quest. Yeah, because our wisdom is on max already. That's what I was thinking. Entries for Echoes of the Fallen will appear on the final page of each of the 4 sections of compiled knowledge. All entries for this DLC can be accessed by selecting Echoes of the Fallen from the keyword search.
you wish to study the tomes?
Right, we're gonna start with persons of interest. Oh. Okay, there's something about Ultima. The thing is like I said, at the time of the recording, I've already played through the story totally. So I have defeated Ultima already. So I'm gonna read it now, but I will show you this after defeating Ultima, most likely. We'll see, we'll see. Let's see what it says. Yeah, after reading this, I will put this in somewhere at the end. Yeah, just because I don't know if I would call it a little bit of a spoiler to the ending, but yeah, no, we're gonna do this at the end because there's something happening still, which could be a little bit spoiler in this. Yeah, okay. Right, so let's go for these 4. Famiel. Oh, we're gonna start from the beginning and then go all the 4 pages. Hooded miner, basic information. The leader of a trio who appear to be involved in the dusk crystal trade. Any attempt at identifying him is stymied by his hempen hood. Famiel, crystal trader. After being chased from the gates of Port Isolde on suspicions of trading in contraband, they fled north with bandits and beasts in pursuit. Their path took them nigh to the Sage Spire, an ancient fallen tower with which they seem strangely familiar. Famiel at the Sage Spire. The leader of the Dusk Crystal Miners, he and his associates Halleck and Marnik have long been visiting the Sage Spire to claim for their own the bounty of the Magitech mother crystal that sleeps within. The darkening of the skies brought with it a sudden efflorescence of crystal, which the miners sought to take advantage of by trading their excess yield on the black market. And after the Sage Spire, he and his associates hail from an isolated community driven from their ancestral homeland by the spread of the Blight, having long relied on the dusk crystals for their survival. However, on learning that it is the crystals that cause the Blight, and knowing that it is but a matter of time before the authorities of the twins discover the Sage Spire and claim the mother crystal inside for themselves, he permits Clive to destroy the artificial heart. Halleck, one of Famiel's familiars alongside Marnik, engaged in mining shards of dusk crystal from the Magitech mother crystal. His natural nervousness is exacerbated by the perilous situations to which his chief is wont to expose him. Marnik, one of Famiel's familiars alongside Halleck, engaged in mining shards of dusk crystal from the Magitech mother crystal. Being strong of thew and sunny of spirit, he finds himself well suited to physical tasks, and a good thing too, for those in Famiel's employ often find themselves having to run for their lives at a moment's notice. And the tower. Gonna start with basic information. The voice of the Sage Spire, or at least one heard echoing throughout its halls. It regards Clive and his allies as unwelcome intruders and seeks to remove them, not merely from the tower itself, but from existence. Its cold inhumanity suggests that it has no human consciousness at its core. It is naught but another diabolical device of the Fallen's creation. And hidden truth. It is an artificial intelligence that controls the functioning of the tower's diverse contrivances, sending wave after wave of Magitech monstrosities to eliminate Clive and his allies. However, Clive is not so easily eliminated, and after destroying the heart of the man-made mother crystal, the voice falls silent. On we go. Lay of the land. Okay, there's something about Port Isolde in here. After the Empire's retreat. That's new. Okay, let's take a look at that. A port city situated on the southwestern coast of the imperial province of Rosaria. Following the fall of Rosaria to imperial rule, the city became a stronghold of the western garrison, its gates closed to native Rosarians seeking shelter from the chaos enveloping the world beyond its walls. However, with the collapse of the empire and the withdrawal of the garrison, Port Isolde has reverted to local rule, the sellswords in Lord Byron's employ, ensuring her gates remain open to refugees, yet closed to those who would usher the outside chaos within. There's even more. Okay. Once again, I'm gonna read those and I might just put it somewhere else at the end. We'll see. Origin, hidden truth. A vast structure that lay dormant beneath the crystalline dominion for countless centuries and which was revealed to have been the vessel on which Ultima and his brethren first arrived in Valistia. Though it ceased to function while its former passengers slept, it was finally reactivated to put into motion the final stages of Ultima's plan for recreating the world in his image. Accolade. The Rosarian ceremony wherein the dominant of the Phoenix ordains his first shield and imbues him with the Icon's blessing. In the year of the realm 860, heir to the ducal throne Joshua Rosfield awarded the accolade to his brother Clive, making proof of the deep love and respect the young prince had for him. And then there are two. The Sage Spire. Once again, we're starting with basic information. Another ageless relic of the Fallen, the Sage Spire has loomed dark on the northern Rosarian horizon for as long as anyone can remember. Local legends about the tower being haunted abound, and as such the remote upland moors upon which the tower stands remain largely uninhabited to this day, despite not yet having been claimed by the Blight. Over the years, myriad attempts to find an entrance to the ruins have ended in failure, but that does not necessarily mean that someone or some three has not already stumbled across a means inside. Crystals and cores. After centuries of slumber, the Sage Spire has awoken, albeit for reasons unknown. An early survey of its interior suggests the tower is indeed the source of the realm's dust crystals, the specimens seemingly growing from the walls in large uncontrolled clusters. Also identified is what appears to be a crystalline heart set high upon a central dais. Most disturbingly, however, the tower seems to exhibit a manner of sentience, reacting to those who cross the tower's threshold and speaking to them in a language that is both at once uncomfortably similar and utterly foreign. Cracking the core. A cursory analysis of vocal records discovered in the tower suggests that the Sage Spire was a facility dedicated to the mass production of artificial crystal. Even after the facility was abandoned following the tragedy at Missives, the remaining specimens continued to slowly grow until the destruction of the spire's heart emitted a sudden discharge of discordant resonance that led to the shattering and dissipation of all nearby dust crystals. And hidden truth. While the main function of the Sage Spire was the mass production of artificial crystal, the fallen facility also appears to have been used in the magitech repurposing and weaponization of byproducts from the crystallization process. The site was evacuated and sealed during Ultima's assault on Zemikis, with tower security and maintenance duties relegated to echo-like automata, tireless machines that stalk the Spire's ivory halls to this day. And the dim. Gonna start with basic information. Once a lush woodland that provided abundant game and charcoal to the residents of Eastpool, recent decades have seen the blight gradually rob the region of nature's bounty, leaving little but lifeless stone and blackened boughs. Few brave the road north these days, save bandits, brigands, and the occasional fool who thinks he might be the one to finally discover an entrance to the Sage Spire and claim the fabled treasures within. And an entrance to the spire. Rumor has it that with the Sage Spire's recent awakening, ruins in the area have inexplicably flung their gates open, introducing all manner of grim and grotesque creatures into the heretofore abandoned waste. On we go. Mysteries of the Realm. I can't believe that I haven't read this. I have to really see if I haven't read this before, and then I'm not gonna put it in, but if it's really new, I'm gonna leave it in. Crystal supply and demand. One of the most valuable materials known to mankind, thanks to its ability to channel ambient ether from the air, allowing those without an innate power to do so to cast magics. After Ultima cast Primogenesis and the skies over Valistia darkened, the unbalance in the ether rendered many shards unusable, and all but ended the largest of nations in sharing what shards remained with their populaces. Yet such was the people's reliance on crystals that they looked to other, less reputable means of securing them. Glassheim Wall, Evanescence. A last ethereal dome created by King Barnabas Tharm using the power of the icon Odin. It was not only capable of repelling assaults, both corporeal and magical, but also consumed any who might endeavor passage across its bounds. Spanning from the mining settlement of Isla in the south of Friggs Calm in the north, the barrier effectively blocked any approach to the Valuda capital of Stone here for hundreds of leagues until its eventual fading following the king's passing. And there's more. The Fallen, Hubris, an ancient civilization that thrived some thousands of years before the present day. Their magitech technology began by aping those wonders left behind by Ultima many aeons prior, and ended in their attempts to divine those secrets most inseparable from divinity, the means of crafting a mother crystal and the terrible strength of the icons. Airship, the Fallen. Legend has it that the people of the Fallen once sailed through the skies in the bellies of these ships, though all now lie shattered and silent on the surface below. The ruins that litter the lands around Zemikis lend weight to the theory that they were also used to wage war, as does the presence of several similar craft in the Sage Spire, a veritable factory of death-dealing armaments. Magitech in the Sage Spire. A term that appears in early histories of the Fallen civilization and describes their highly advanced magical technology, though it was long believed that the iconoclasts mentioned in early histories were lost to the ages. One such abomination was discovered in the Sage Spire, along with the heart of the magitech mother crystal that powered its world-crushing wrath. Echoes, the Fallen. Strange clockwork constructs often encountered in and near fallen ruins. Though originally servants of Ultima created by the entity in a time lost to memory, the Fallen appear to have employed Magitech to successfully engineer replicas eerily identical in both appearance and functionality, casting doubt upon the hypothesis that an echo's form is somehow a result of scavenging ruins. Despite being masterless for the better part of a millennium and a half, the Automachina continue to dutifully attend to the tasks bestowed upon them before the fall. Mythos, Ultima's name for the vessel of limitless power that he has long awaited. He identifies Clive as this mythos by virtue of his awakening as the dominant of Ifrit, and having the power to absorb the ether of other icons. The being created humanity for this very purpose, that it might one day yield a vessel strong enough to cast the spell that would revive his dying tribe and remake the world in their image. Now he pits Clive against the other icons that he might drink of their powers and bring his vessel ever closer to perfection. Right, so there is the echoes part, the specific part. Dusk crystals. We're gonna start with basic information. Shadowy shards that can be used to cast magics just like any other crystal, but are far less resilient, cracking after only a few uses. They appeared on the black market soon after the skies darkened, and it was from here that Charon obtained her sample. The Sage Spire. The shadowy shards that line the walls of the Sage Spire. Famiel and his associates have long mined these crystals to provide for their people. The sudden outgrowth that accompanied the darkening of the skies providing a bounteous yield that they elected to sell for profit. Their close resemblance to those shards that make up the mother crystals suggests that they, too, are linked to a heart, one that sleeps somewhere within the tower. And after the destruction of the heart, the shadowy shards that once lined the walls of the Sage Spire. They were the product of the Fallen's ambition to replicate the original mother crystals, and though their reproduction was far from its model, equal in terms of the strength and stability of its shards, they faded just the same when their heart was destroyed. Man-made heart. And we start with basic information. The heart of the artificial mother crystal that sleeps within the Sage Spire. It closely resembles the hearts of the true mother crystals, although the Fallen chose to keep theirs inside some manner of Magitech shielding system. Relocation. Until, that is, Clive and his allies came too close for comfort and the tower's intelligence ordered it evacuated to an inner chamber. And hidden truth. The heart of the artificial mother crystal that slept within the Sage Spire. Like the hearts of the true mother crystals, it leached huge quantities of ether from the earth. The Fallen, however, designed their own to conjoin with their ultimate Magitech monstrosity, Omega, inspiring it to even greater limits to destructive power. Yet, even with the heart's strength at its disposal, Omega was no match for the might of Clive and his allies. After the iconoclast met its brutal end, so too did the heart. Specimens. Basic information. Beasts and beastmen captured by the Fallen and held prisoner in the Sage Spire. The variety of species on display suggests that they were collected from across the length and breadth of Balestia. Many are barely recognizable from their modern-day counterparts, though whether this is the result of those creatures who escaped imprisonment changing over the ages, or of the experimentation conducted on those unlucky few who did not, remains unclear. What is clear, however, is that upon being released from their cells, they will dutifully obey the tower's orders to exterminate intruders. Research and development. Research logs left behind by their captors suggest they were intended to be used in the Fallen's experiments into crafting crystals from an organic seed. Those on the lower levels appear to have escaped much of this experimentation, being released from their cells to drive out intruders. Those on the upper levels, however, exhibit strange crystalline structures conjoined to their flesh, proof, if any more, were needed of the Fallen's ambitions for them. And living machines. The existence of the Magitech heart and the dust crystals shows that their research succeeded, the unlucky byproducts of their experiments being repurposed for military means. Magitech weaponry. Basic information. Arms produced by the Fallen many centuries past, using materials and methods far more advanced than those available today. Their capacity for destruction likewise eclipses that of the deadliest weapons of the modern era, which goes some way to explaining why the Fallen are no longer with us. And the Sage Spire. These weapons came in myriad shapes and sizes, from miniaturized magical cannons intended to be wielded by foot soldiers to failed experiments into breeding crystals repurposed as living weapons to the iconoclast Omega, a self-propelled magitech monstrosity designed to overthrow the gods themselves, powered by the stolen secret of creation. Iconoclasts. Basic information. By far the mightiest of the many magitech weapons produced by the fallen civilization. The name Iconoclast means destroyer of the divine, and this is exactly the purpose for which they were created, to overthrow the gods that humanity might rule over all creation. And hidden truth. Scholars believe that numerous iconoclasts of differing designs were produced by the Fallen's rival factions, yet all were destroyed during the Magitech War and the ill-fated invasion of Zemikis that followed. The discovery of Omega, however, raises the possibility that other iconoclasts may still survive, their world-shattering power but an unlucky archaeologian's misstep away. And living flesh. Basic information. A gruesome gore found clinging to the walls of the upper reaches of the Sage Spire, pulsating organically and glistening like lifeblood. Its similarity to the flesh of the strange beasts Clive and his allies encountered in the lower levels suggests that they may have been crafted from this very substance. And hidden truth. The Fallen were attempting to grow crystals using beasts and beastmen as seeds, and this substance appears to be a byproduct of those experiments, its strength and malleability proving the ideal material from which to craft living weapons. It appears that the disturbance in the ether resulting from Ultima's casting of Primogenesis overwhelmed whatever infernal engine produced it, resulting in its runaway growth throughout the facility. And then there is the bestiary. Oh yeah, I've just seen page 3. I'm not gonna show you page 3 yet. This will come at the end with the other stuff, which is, in a way, spoiler for the end, for the fight with Ultima and stuff. Then we're gonna jump right into the special lore of Echoes of the Fallen. Ancient Goblins. Basic information. While exhibiting many of the distinguishing features conventionally attributed to goblins, large ears, hunched gait, malevolent eyes, these unique specimens encountered in the dim can be characterized by their rotten, gnarled flesh and a shock of fiery red hair running from their crowns down the length of their crooked spines. What is more, the weapons they carry are neither twisted bows nor rusted pikes, but rather crooks and cleavers intricately crafted from material of decidedly fallen origin, though how the goblins might have worked the material where mankind has historically failed remains a mystery. In truth, it has become ever more apparent that the strange creatures now roaming the dim are not in fact a new species of goblin, but rather an old one, likely captured by the Fallen and imprisoned inside the Sage Spire for the purpose of academic research. They would have remained suspended in time indefinitely, bound by the tower's arcane magics, had not happenstance seen the locks thrown from their cages 15 centuries after their capture. While these goblins exceed their more modern cousins in strength, hardiness, and overall ferocity, possibly through magitech augmentation, there is no apparent difference in mental faculty. Ancient Minotaur. At a glance, the quality and complexity of both the decorative markings on their skin and the goldwork they adorn implies that these ancestors of the Tauri currently inhabiting the deserts of Dhalmekia achieved a much higher level of civilization than their modern-day progeny. The crystallization of their horns and hooves, however, is clear evidence of experimentation at the hands of their fallen captors. Angra Mainyu. Unlike Sigma or Omicron, creatures coaxed into existence through the miracle of fallen science, Angra Mainyu is instead an example of Sage Spire engineers imposing their wills onto an existing life form in an arrogant attempt to stimulate or enhance its connatural faculties. The crystal embedded within its cranium may either serve as a source from which ethereal essence is drawn, or as a means of control by any outside party. Sigma. A colossal killing machine forged not from iron and steel but from living flesh grown in a laboratorium. Both deceptively swift and magically adept, Sigma is thought to have served the Fallen as a guardian of the Sage Spire, tasked with preventing unauthorized access to the tower's upper levels and the secrets stored within. Omicron. Not content with the combat performance exhibited by their Sigma model, Sage Spire engineers continued perfecting their methods until they had created Omicron, a mindless thrall similar in size and build to its predecessor, but stronger, faster, and more resilient. The engineers also felt the need to give it a sword and teach it how to use it. And lastly, Omega. Omega, or iconoclastic defense system Omega 1, was the Sage Spire's last line of defense in the preservation of its most valuable asset, the artificial heart. Capable of warping the very geometries that define our world, the Magitech construct was likely one of the most powerful weapons ever created by the Fallen. And that's it. So, let's go to Charon, see what we can buy, and then we're gonna take a look at the Wall of Memories and the reading table, the Missives as well.
Clive.
Charon. Alright, gonna talk about dusk crystals.
So,
The Fallen did manage to make a mother crystal of their own, did they? Fat lot of good did it them. Brought the wrath of God down on their own stupid heads, then left it to their descendants to clean up the mess they left behind. You did a good job making the Sage Spire spick and span, but if that fallen heart were anything like the others, I'll wager there's plenty of shards still out there sitting in stockpiles waiting to be sold to the highest bidder. Still, they're not like to last long, shoddy things that they are, and anyone who tries to flock them as common crystals is begging to get themselves nabbed for dealing in dodgy goods.
no.
Those crystals are naught but curious now. They are a part of the world's history, not its future.
Go on,
Alrighty.
then.
Ah, god dang it. And I thought I'm nearly through with all the orchestrion rolls. No, here is way more. Way more. I need hundreds of thousands of gil. No, I'm not buying all of them. So, yeah, I'm still gonna... At the very end, when I finished the Rising Tide DLC, I will still buy as many as I can, and I want to finish the ones in Northreach actually before we buy these here because they are way more expensive, and then we're gonna listen to them at the end. But this is just too much. This is way too much money. So let's take a look at the Wall of Memories. Oh wait, we're missing just one more thing down here. I don't even know what. I nearly have everything. Okay, so this is the new one, Dusk Shard. A subtle reflection of mankind, fiery yet flawed, brilliant yet brittle, and its future clear yet clouded. How the crystal endures despite its mother having faded is perhaps a sign of hope for us all. Yeah, and I think the last one that's just missing down there is most likely those monoliths. Yeah, I think if you finish those, all of them, then you might get the last one, probably. But I won't do that. Alright then, and the missive? There we go. Dear Sid by Famio. I write you this note from Imperial lands. Yes, I know we said we'd be going straight home, but a little detour to trade the trinkets we'd picked up on our travels for some trusty gills seemed in order. Give the elders something to soften the shock of losing the dust crystals like. Truth is, those crystals have long been a lifeline for our people, and though I may have been quick to comprehend your reasoning that they are naught but a tether to a sinking ship, humble country folk like mine are rather less receptive to new ideas. Wish me luck in turning them to the righteous path. Famiel. P.S. In the unlikely event that we should find ourselves driven from our home at point of pitchfork, I trust you spare us a bed or three. The lads can sleep on the floor at a pinch. Okay. Very nice. Yeah, and then there's the unmarked one, which we will take care of in just a bit. But before we do that, actually, I'm gonna talk to Jill.
What's on your mind, Clive?
Okay. I hope she's not spoiling anything, so let's go for Ask About Memories. I still can't believe you remembered that day on Man's Hill.
For so long.
Our lives have been defined by loss, but our memories, those no one can take. And if they truly are the only things we can hold on to, then I want more.
So when this is over...
Let's travel the world and make new ones, and I will hoard them as a dragon does her gold. For my memories with you are the most precious of all. Oh, okay, this was no spoiler. This is something I should have actually talked with her about after finishing her last side quest. Ah, god dang it. Alright, let's talk about the Sage Spire. This is actually why I wanted to talk to her, and I'm gonna talk to Joshua afterwards once more.
It occurred to me...
that my father once told me of a great tower just beyond the border which would one day be ours. And thinking about it now, he could only have meant the Sage Spire. I wonder what he would have done had he claimed it, had he seen what we have seen.
The fallen Mother Crystal. And Omega.
The pinnacle of our ancestors' power. The power that ushered them to their own destruction. I often ask myself if the strength of our icons is the same. Is it too much for us to control? Is it destined to destroy us as it did them? Mine certainly came close to destroying me.
But you saved me.
And now, with the strength of both of our icons in your heart, you are going to save us all. Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Strong, Clive.
Of course. Right, so let's go to Joshua, and then I'm gonna talk a little bit about this DLC. Yeah. And my impressions.
Brother, I put Father's helm in your chambers.
I know.
He should be with you when his vision is finally realized.
Thank you, Joshua. For everything.
Don't mention it.
Did I miss this too? Wait a second, I have to go back. I'm quite certain I have looked at the helm before, after finishing the quest, but I haven't talked to Joshua afterwards. I should have. Oh, I forgot so much stuff. Ah, god dang it. Yeah, there it is. Okay. This was not the one this is missing. So I'm quite certain it's still the one that I said with these monoliths. Right, let's talk to him once more about Sage Spire.
Clive.
Alright, first about our father. He always tried to spur me on, to give me courage. I knew his words were meant with kindness, but as a boy they cut me deeply. How keenly they made me feel my own weakness, my own inadequacy. It was only after we lost him that I realized he believed in me. He only wished that I would believe in myself. Father's words have been to me as a torch in the darkness, banishing the fearful shadows and illuminating the path ahead.
His flame burns in your heart.
Brother, as it does in mine. And it is that flame that shall continue to light our path all the way to the very end. Right, and then about Sage Spire.
Chroniclers of the Fallen
speak of the Magitech War that took place prior to the civilization's fall. That entity that we encountered in the Sage Spire, Omega, is doubtless one of many Magitech weapons that the Fallen produced.
Imagine it.
Legions of such things being sent into battle against one another, it would be enough to rend the very skies. But perhaps we need not imagine it. Thousands of years after the fall, and still the nations of our fair realm made war with their icons. And for what? Dominance? Like our forebears, all that it brought us was death and devastation. Mankind's folly did not end with the Fallen's fall.
But it may yet end with us.
For we go into battle wielding the greatest power in creation, not that of the icons or of Magitech, but the ability to learn from our mistakes. Right.
You have but to say the word.
Yeah. Okay then, let me just go into the light a little bit. Okay then, yeah, let me just talk a little bit about the DLC, the first one, Icons of the Fallen. I really enjoyed it. I'm happy I came back, I'm happy I bought it, because it was just something special, something new in a way. A little bit similar to the rest because of the Mother Crystal stuff, but then again, different because it's just not Ultima's Mother Crystal. And what I really enjoyed, all the throwbacks to Final Fantasy VIII. I have to say, it really reminded me so much of Final Fantasy VIII that I want to play it again. And again and again. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, and once again, I say it once again, the Omega weapon or the Omega enemy in the Sage Spire was actually very, very similar to the spider which you encounter in, I don't even know what the place was called, in Final Fantasy VIII, where you arrive with the boat quite at the beginning, and then you meet Selphie there and stuff, and then you have to run away from it and fight it and stuff. XATM or something, something with X was the name of the spider. Yeah, very, very similar. So nothing like the Omega weapon in Final Fantasy VIII, which looked very different. Yeah, but then again, that's what it is. And yeah, that was actually very, very cool. So, next order of business is the second DLC, and I heard this is longer. This took me, alright, with reading the lore, it took me even longer. I want to say about 4 or 5 hours, something like this. And the second DLC, The Rising Tide, this will come next, so have a look out for that. This should be then next week. Yeah, so Final Fantasy XVI will still be with us for a couple of more weeks, definitely. so far the longest series on my channel, and I think it might get topped by Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which I'm still playing to this day. Quite certain I won't even be finished when Monster Hunter Wilds comes out, so I have to play them simultaneously in a way. And yeah, we'll see how long Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will be. At this point, it's the 11th of November. I want to say 2/3 through the game, something like this. At least this is what the PS5 is telling me, that I have finished like 67% or something. I'm in chapter 10. And yeah, so there is maybe 14 or 15 chapters, we will see. All right then, guys, thank you so much for watching. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do my... No, I'm not gonna do my standard ending because we're still continuing. So guys, see you next week with The Rising Tide.